I'm not an effective altruist, but I do want to show you a new game that we're working on. You guys might like this. It's like an RPG.
What's the name of the game? Like the website again? It's blocked.
I can't. Yeah, there's a reason it's blocked.
Is it like an MMO?
There's a reason. Yeah, I don't want to share it with the world yet. It's like an MMO. Yeah. There's this build is not really complete. You know, it should be an interesting game when it's a little closer to completion.
It's cute. I like it.
Yeah.
Very weird game, to be honest.
Is that his territory?
Yes, exactly.
Got a RuneScape.
You need to kind of capture the flag or something.
Yeah, it's gonna sort of be like where you.
It kind of looks like Breath of Fire, like.
You have knockback mechanics.
Breath of Fire 3.
There's a connected voice, so like, you know, these players should be able to hear me right now, and I should be able to hear them. But there's a lot of things that we have to add and subtract to the game that, you know, will.
Wait, there's like 3 actual people in there now?
Yeah, it's multiplayer, massively multiplayer. But yeah, this build, I have to message my lead developer right now and remind him.
I can see how the game has progressed. Like,
there's a lot of stuff we have that's not on build. Like, for example, signing up, usually we'll do a whole big character select screen. I don't think we have pushed that yet. So we have that on our private servers, but not for the main servers yet. So this actually, I don't think we've really pushed too many updates.
I mean, it's for like the enemies attacking you. Like before, they never attacked you or anything.
You see the enemies attacking? They follow you. They don't really attack you, though, right?
Yeah.
It's surprisingly good for a browser game.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to try to make the most complicated Unity browser game ever. You know, which is not saying much. But
What's the tech stack for this?
It's Unity. We're using a voice server called Agora, which is going to do the location-based voice and the proximity voice and all that.
Sick, bro.
Quest is writing a bunch of the storyline.
Oh boy.
Yes, it's going to be pretty woke.
Is the woman respecter going to make an appearance?
It's going to be... We definitely have to have the woman respecter on guard. It's the woman respecter. So we also have... we're using our text-to-speech in this. So like the skeletons have Alex Jones's voice, but like I said, it's not pushed to production yet. But it was really funny. In our staging server, the skeleton just like scream at you, and it uses GPT to generate what it screams at you.
Nice.
So it's different every single time. And again, it's Alex Jones' voice, so that's pretty scary. So it'll be fun to watch it progress. But you know, there's
What's the monetization model for this?
great question. I think the current meta is skins. You know, it seems to be the by far the best way to do things, because you don't want play to win, and you don't want to place a barrier for the player to play. So people don't want to pay money for anything. So you give them a game, you let them enjoy it, and then if they want to buy a skin, great. And some people, if you're smart about how you sell skins, you make a lot more money selling the skins than membership fees.
I mean,
And-
look what Fortnite did.
Yeah, League of Legends, Fortnite have all proved
League of
this,
Legends.
to be true. So you'll get some players that spend $200 or $300 a year. You'll get a lot of players who spend nothing. But you know, as long as you don't make it, pay to win, you do a good job.
Isn't it crazy that Valve did the entire NFT thing years before NFTs were a thing?
Yeah.
With skins?
Yeah, I mean, NFTs
Kinda.
are.
Were they NFTs though?
They
I mean,
weren't in it. They
No,
weren't.
I mean like with
Party
the
hat.
trading and stuff, right? With the trading on the marketplace.
that's not NFTs though.
But
That's
they
just
weren't in
a
the-
digital marketplace.
Yeah, sure, but the NFTs were trying to like build up games, and you would, I guess.
Just different
Right.
words. Different words.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one games programmer. So it was a team of 2, but he refactored to Unity. So now it's a team of 1. I used to help out quite a bit programming with. I have to learn Unity. I really do.
What?
Yeah, we were doing it in JavaScript, which, that's my home language.
Nice.
But once we went to Unity, I'm cooked. So I think we're gonna hire another Unity expert. We put out a tweet.
I'm a Unity expert, bro.
Okay. We
No,
put out a
Yeah, you certainly look like that. Super.
Unity, C#, etc.
Are you using C# for the backend?
Well, that's Unity is C#. So the backend, we're using this interesting thing called Fishnet, I think it's called, and it's basically it's a server for Unity. I mentioned Agora, Fishscale. It is called Fishscale. I didn't want to call it Fishscale because I thought that sounds like a drug thing, 𝗕𝗂𝗃𝗧𝗃𝗧𝗃𝗧, for example. But yeah, it is Fishscale. I thought it was Fishscale.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I know Giannis, the developer, is working on he's doing audio today. He's doing sound effects and sound, and he's been programming that a lot. But we do need music, and obviously we got a composer lined up for that, and we need to start thinking about some of that stuff. What exactly do we want it to sound and look like? And then yeah, the art is sort of all just like kind of temporary for now. So League of Legends V1 was very ugly until they started working harder on the productions, certain production. So the what you see through the art now is like very limited. I think our goal is just to sort of get a game up and get it sort of massively multiplayer. But we have a schedule for all the game mechanics like hiding and attacking and casting and armor and all this stuff. So, now that the game seems to scale and stuff like that, it's I feel pretty good about it. And there are a bunch of other secret features that'll make it very different from all the other games out there. And I think the web, is a big advantage. I think getting people to play a game on the browser is a lot easier than getting people to get Steam and does this game work with my computer and all this and all that. You have this really low barrier to
I think
entry.
if it does get popular in browser, you should put it on Steam. Browser,
Yeah, you can. Thanks to Unity, we can compile to PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, mobile, you name it. That's the nice thing about Unity is it all is cohesive. So yeah, we'll have a console, maybe even have a console game. But yeah, there's going to be some really nice features that going to make it very fun to play. The most important thing about any game is it fun? And that's our job, is to make sure it's fun. I read Sid Meier's biography.
Who is Sid Meier?
Sid Meier created a game called
Civilization.
Civilization. I been following John Carmack my whole life. I think I know a little bit about how to make a fun game, but there's also a bunch of books that I like to read about psychology, because a lot of these games are about psychology, and I've read a little bit about how do you sort of speak to certain players, the collectors, the button mashers, there's so many different kinds of players. They're all like looking for different things from different games.
I'm looking for a game that has it all.
Well, that's hard because you have to make trade-offs. But it's hard to satisfy a hardcore gamer and a casual gamer.
I've been really with a game called Scum, bro. Recently, it's like Daisy. Rust,
I heard of it, yeah.
I've played that game as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you just have to kind of balance and also know your audience. At the end of the day, you can't be everything to everyone. I mean, it's you can't make a game that's casual and easy to play, but also satisfies a hardcore gamer. The hardcore gamer wants
There's Minesweeper. So.
Project Zomboid, which is a 2D.
The hardcore gamer wants that a split decision, 1 second off, is the difference between winning and losing. Casual gamer doesn't want to lose their progress. They want to just kind of chill and have fun and socialize. So I think this game will be much more social, much more chill, a lot less hardcore. but it will have a steep skill cap. A lot of the problems with the casual games is that you basically have enjoyed the whole game within half an hour, and you have the game's community carries the game. In our game, I think there's going to be a lot of content that you can explore and enjoy. So we want to have replay value that often doesn't exist in these casual games, without necessarily making it this like super addicting game that makes it so that like you never want to log off. Because I think those games are fairly toxic as well, and you get I mean, it's a positive asset from a business perspective, but it's
No, get them addicted. Get them addicted to a slot machine game.
well, exactly. Those are the types of Candy Crush type games, and they're not. It's very competitive, those games, and Chinese.
Probably Market Fit.
I mean, look at the dude to make Cookie Crusher, bro.
A lot of Chinese companies make those kinds of games. I'd rather make something like a Roblox or Terraria. In fact, our main dev here is a huge Terraria fan. That's
I love Terraria.
yeah, he's sort of his main inspiration. I like Civilization a lot, so in some ways it's like somewhat of a merger between Civ and Terraria, but we'll see.
But this is sad in overall. There's so few games actually make it through like the success in the market.
It's very hard.
Bro. He's gonna make it, bro.
And I think that's the majority of the reason mobile gaming is more successful in terms of profitability, right? PC
They
is
are
really hard.
because there is bigger audience.
More Indians play.
Martin, your game is 3D but looks 2D, right?
It's a good question. It's a really good question. So we're actually using Unity 2D, but I think we're going to move to Unity 3D and get like a camera that you can turn around.
Is that your first game project, Martin?
It's my personal first game project, but I'm not the lead programmer. Young man is who has done a number of game projects.
Okay.
So he's like a dedicated games programmer, and I think we're going to hire around him a small team, artists and other kind of talented people, game devs, of course, people to work on like the platform, the mechanics, the content. That's kind of how we divide the three things. So the game will probably be out, I guess, around January. It's going to be alpha release for the public.
If I can ever write anything for free, let me know. Or see what it's
Thank
like.
you. Yeah. I would like that. Yeah, January would be a decent alpha, so I don't think it would be open to the public. I think it'll be more like a invite type of thing. Maybe 500 players invited, just as we work out kinks and expand it. And then start to move to like a beta, maybe around March. And then ideally...
If you're gonna have items, you gotta have a discontinued item.
In what?
Yeah, for sure.
In what way?
Are you familiar with a bunch of games have had these where in the beginning they'll
sure.
and they'll drop like a hat or some sort of
Absolutely. There'll be items for the OGs.
But the key is that it's a finite supply.
Absolutely.
So like you release 1,000 of them, then never
Oh,
again.
absolutely, yeah.
Because then it kind of creates a little lore around it. Anyway.
Absolutely.
I don't play games anymore, but I have fond memories of people collect hats or Santa hats or party hats.
I did recently finish Baldur's Gate 3.
How'd you like it?
It was kind of, I don't want to say clunky in the third act, but it definitely shows that they rushed it out the door.
Yeah,
And
I'm missing like an entire city. Thanks to that, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, I don't know how much of the city of Baldur's Gate, but
Entire upper city.
But even then, it's one of the best games that has come out in the last, I think, 5 years.
I would say it's the best well-made RPG of this whole modern world of gaming.
It was nice going from Divinity 2 over to it, to be very honest with you, because of they had stuff regarding Fane and Lose and whatnot, so that was pretty fun initially.
Yeah, there was the shapeshift mask, right? And the chest.
Cute.
Introduced a friend to the Vampire Bloodlines PC game. She beat that for the first time.
Yeah, no, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines was like my favorite game for like a solid 2 years. I went as the can't remember the name of it, but like the schizophrenic sounding.
Yeah, the
Right.
Melks.
Yeah, the Malcap. That was so much fun. It's very immersive.
And like, if you read about the circumstances for the development of that game, it's surprising. It's just surprising that it's as good as it was, because Activision was being basically like forced to release it, whatever, by the time. And this is alongside while Valve is trying to get Half-Life 2 out the door. So if like they needed to get any help with like the source engine, like Valve was like, we're trying to ship Half-Life 2. And so they were just kind of...
They had to figure it out.
Yeah, they just kind of had to like figure out a game engine that hasn't even like released its first title yet. So it was kind of a very precarious situation.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then, you know, obviously they did a very good job releasing
Yeah, props to everyone who worked on that game.
Big ups. Thumbs up emoji to them.
Last time I watched the Dota TI, like, team fights just ended up becoming like this incomprehensible visual vomit mess on the screen. Like, you just couldn't tell what was happening.
Yeah, League does that.
Yeah.
Well.
I think League is easier to understand because you have like kind of vibrant visuals and also more defined characters. Dota is more like everything is blended in and nothing outstands. So
That's fair.
I think I want to say they've addressed those issues somewhat, but it's been, I don't know. I uninstalled Dota 2 and stopped playing MOBAs a very long time ago.
Yeah, I just started Dota. It's been like a couple of months.
Did you get flamed day 1 or did it get flamed to hell day 2?
No, I exclusively played against bots and studied like pro player games. So
Okay.
like yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I knew I would get like flamed to the ground, so I prepared.
Yeah, I used to play Dota, like Ricky, that's all I remember. And then my brother played on my account. He was like top 25 in the world or something for like some meta hero. Plays on my account, goes 52-0. I get force 50'd all the way up, and then I'm playing with Koreans that are flaming me because I'm playing hard carry and like just feeding. I ended up having to buy wards the entire game and I never played again.
Just a separate question: How risky is torrenting in the US?
Non-existent if you spend, what is it, like 20, you can get like dirt cheap VPNs, and like you don't, like, no VPN is really going to keep you anonymous, but the point of a VPN is to just obfuscate the IP address that whatever torrent swarm watching companies will like report abuse notices to, just so that like my internet service provider doesn't get abuse notices for my IP on my account. So
What's happening now is with ISPs, they just kind of, if they notice that there's, you know, traffic that shouldn't be there, they'll just disconnect that specific IP address. So your other devices will work, but not like the one that's trying to access like the torrent.
I don't think US providers do that.
Well, maybe it's
But-
just a Canadian thing.
It's probably a Canadian thing because you have no freedom in that country. But yeah, for like $50 a year, you can pretty much get a dirt cheap little like VPS server and then like a VPN to run that on. Or you could just get a VPS in a country that like doesn't give out torrenting or copyright notices.
Why a VPS server? Normal VPNs don't work.
So the VPS is what? Virtual privatized server. That's what I mean. So it's like, it's just a little virtual server running on a big box in some data center somewhere that you pay, that you just kind of rent out to use to run whatever you want on it.
Yeah, but like, what about generic VPNs?
I don't think I use generic VPNs. I use like Octane VPN, which is like, all these VPN services is just like one guy. They're probably just like one-man operations, automating all this stuff to run their services, and it's pretty basic. A lot of the cheap ones don't even do like proper, what is that, like networking feature called like UPnP, like dynamic port routing and all that stuff. They just don't support that at all. So a lot of times like torrenting performance can suffer
I can't even use my, like, I have to use a VPN to access virtual machines for, like, my cybersecurity program. So, like, I have to use ExpressVPN every single time, and it's such a headache.
They don't. The course providers don't provide their own VPN gateway for you to.
No, absolutely not.
That's kind of telling, in my opinion. Is key-based SSH authentication just not good enough for them? Like they needed that additional layer of security.
You know what? Honestly, like I feel like 90% of the time you get that really good win that makes you stop playing, and then you pick it up like an hour later, and it's always like the most disheartening, frustrating loss, and it's like, why did I even pick this game up again?
Yeah, sounds right.
That's why I stopped.
Oh man, my sinuses are acting up.
College research paper. It was like some college team of kids figuring out like which game matching algorithm provided the most user engagement or whatever metric they called it. It's like that was like the most black-pilling thing as a gamer to like read.
I'm not too close to China to think about exactly what's going on with their stock market.
The Chinese Starbucks, not like actual Starbucks, but like their equivalent to Starbucks, like they got delisted.
Luckin Coffee.
Yeah.
Huge fraud, yeah. Yeah, that was an ugly situation for sure.
What happened?
They had a big accounting fraud. It was actually still a decent product, decent company, but accounting fraud didn't help.
I think they're relisted, it looks like. Oh wait, no.
I think they're doing fine in China, honestly. They had it was a real company. It was just
yeah, at least it was a real company, right?
yeah, for all the quote unquote fraud, it was actually a real company. Crazy thing about Ely Lilly is it's now the biggest drug company in the world, which for the longest time was not the case. It was like really far from that. Now it's the biggest market cap any drug company has ever had in history.
That PE ratio, though.
Yeah, I don't know if the Google PE ratios are.
Yeah, what is that? 80? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, but it's Google. Like it's not a real financial program. How do you gotta what year of earnings it is? Is it nobody knows? It just says PE ratio. Well, what's E? Is it last year, this year, trailing 12 months, forward 12 months? Google just says PE. That's all you need to know. But yeah, if you told me Ely Lilly was like the number 10 drug company like 10 years ago, that they'd be number 1, unbelievable.
Never would have guessed it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were doing well. There aren't too many side effects with the new GLP-1s. I mean, that's why they're doing. That's why they work really well and they don't really have side effects. It's a pretty good combo. There's a little bit of vomiting that can happen with GLPs, but that's the worst thing that could happen. It's not that bad.
No is like 20% of Denmark's GDP, right?
Yeah.